Hi there, my name is Mark, and this time we're going to be doing a shootout of different field monitoring options for the GoPro family of cameras. And before you get scared, don't worry, a field monitor is nothing more than just a screen that you use with the camera in order to kind of see what it sees and really be able to set up your shots and get the best quality that you can out of the device. Now, I prefer the shootouts versus one after another product reviews, because that way I can kind of show the strengths of a variety of different products. You can kind of see how they compare against each other and decide which one works best for the kind of shooting that you do, as opposed to just like my opinions. So hopefully that'll help you make a better decision when it comes to buying equipment for your GoPro. Let's get on with it. First is the Removu R1, and it is simple. It only has a couple of buttons on the front and a USB and reset button on the side. It is, however, only compatible with the GoPro, so you're out of luck if you want to use it with any other devices. Operation is also simple. If you've already entered in your GoPro's Wi-Fi settings, just turn it on and it will automatically reconnect and start streaming video. You can see there is a slight delay between what is live and what is displayed, but we'll go into that in more detail later. The button on the front with the red dot lets you toggle recording on and off. The middle button lets you change some settings on the camera and power on and off the R1. The bottom button basically lets you cycle through different views. The default is what you see here. Next is basically the same, but without the camera stats. Then just a blank screen. Then is the current time, so you can use it as a stylish watch. Finally, you can modify the R1's internal settings. Now, there's very little you can actually tweak on the device beyond changing what it connects to. It does display all of the relevant information from the camera, such as what mode it's in, resolution, whether it's recording or not, how many recordings there are, and how long it's been recording. To turn it off, simply press in and hold the middle button for a few seconds and it will happily go to sleep. I actually give Removu bonus points for including stickers. I know I talk smack about boxes, but just like with the Arduinos, I do like stickers. If you're going to spend time putting something pointless in the packaging, at least it isn't something that's destined for the garbage can. Next is a Lilliput 7-inch monitor. Newer ones don't seem to include the ghetto headphone adapter on the front like mine does, but it is one of the more common monitors out there. Getting video in is simple. Just connect the GoPro's HDMI port to the port on the back of this, then turn on the battery cutoff. Then turn on the monitor itself. As with most monitors, it will display blue while a signal is being detected, but once that's done, it's good to go. There is very little delay between recording and live preview, making it particularly well suited for capturing footage when tracking moving objects is important. As with the R1, information about the GoPro's current settings are displayed across the top of the screen. Their battery indicator goes right over the GoPro's, which is particularly annoying because it's next to useless. It also has a built-in battery, so you don't have to worry about bringing along some other power source with you. Since this is designed to be more like an actual field monitor than the other two, it has all the image adjustments that you'd expect. Brightness, contrast, color temperature, everything it takes to make it possible to get it really dialed in the way you want. It also has 1/4-20 tripod holes on the bottom and right side, which make it super easy to mount on whatever device or cage you might be using. Last is the iPad mini, and if you're not familiar with this, then I suggest you stop this video now and just return the GoPro for a full refund. Connecting to the GoPro is simply a matter of changing the Wi-Fi access point and then launching the GoPro app. Most everybody watching this has probably used the GoPro app at some point, and it's already covered in many videos, so I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail. The app itself is a bit clunky in my opinion, but it does give you a much simpler interface for changing settings on the camera than using the actual GoPro. As with the other options, the general information is displayed on screen, plus it has the ability to add geolocation data. In most cases, the R1 is meant to be worn like an oversized watch, and it actually works pretty well in this position. It's actually great not having to deal with holding the display while fiddling with the camera, and the strap that is included is easily large enough to go over a winter jacket. It is worth pointing out that with the current software, I had many issues where it wouldn't detect any cameras. Basically, there was nothing you could do except restart it and hope that everything worked out the next time. It seemed to be more reliable with the Hero 3 than the Hero 4, but it wasn't overly consistent with either. Most of the time I'm shooting, I use the Liliput in this setup. Having the 1/4-20 mounts on either side is great when combined with a mini tripod. I'm pretty picky about mini tripods and like this particular one because it's small, stable, and well constructed. I'll probably do a shootout of mini tripods at some point also because most of the ones I bought are just junk. When I use the iPad mini, I tend to use a little stand like this one. They generally do a pretty good job of holding it in its place and make it easy to see. There are some cases that integrate a stand in them, but I've been less than pleased with their performance and quality. I also have a case with a tripod mount on it, but it's not particularly durable or protective, so I generally don't use it. In terms of battery performance, they'll all last about twice as long as a normal GoPro battery will. The first to give up is the R1, which quits after a little over 2.5 hours, so definitely not bad for its size and form factor. Next, the Lilliput throws in the towel at a little over 3.5 hours. It's worth pointing out that the battery indicator goes from green to red in a little over 1 hour, so it runs 2.5 hours in the red. This is why I say the battery indicator is worthless. The iPad outran my SD card, but almost 4 hours in its battery was still over 50%, so realistically you're probably looking at 8 hours or more. Next, we'll look at the delay when using the Hero 4. The Liliput is in all the tests, but it's pretty consistent at about 100 milliseconds, or basically about 3 frames behind real time. With the R1, the delay is about 1.8 seconds, so definitely noticeable, but still usable for framing shots. They claim future software updates will be able to reduce this, but I wouldn't expect this to ever be faster than the GoPro app. The GoPro app clocks in at right about half a second, or basically 15 frames behind real time. In practice, even though this is far faster than the R1, just having any delay makes it far less useful than the Liliput. And since not everyone is rocking the 4, let's see how the 3 Plus does. The R1 performance is almost twice as bad, coming in at 2.7 seconds of delay. But the GoPro app is still faster at 0.7 seconds, or roughly 21 frames. Actually not that much slower than the Hero 4, but still way too slow for any motion. Next, I tested to see if all the recorded area was displayed, or if it was cropping off regions, especially the corners. I was pleased and surprised to see that everything was well represented on the R1. The GoPro app also displays the entire frame correctly. As does the Lilliput, they all handle the full frame exactly as recorded. Each one of the monitors tends to shine in different environments, so here are my closing thoughts about each one. I love the portability and convenience of the R1, but it is going to drain the GoPro using Wi-Fi, and it does have the worst delay of any of them, but at about $100 it's good value for the money. The Lilliput is my go-to monitor. I use it all the time. It's big, has tripod mounts, a battery, the fastest response time, plus it can be used with pretty much any camera out there, but it does cost more than the R1. The iPad mini has the advantage that it's more than just a field monitor and actively supported by GoPro, plus it allows you to tweak the camera settings. But it also costs almost 3 times the price of the R1 and is not nearly as convenient as the other two. So there you have it. Hopefully you'll be able to choose the right field monitor for you, and if you like these videos and want me to make more, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.